minutes away from the beach and the Gold Coast. It's a great place to live.
Oh my God. I went to Bond University.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
No, I
Wow.
did. I went to Bond my sophomore year in college for a semester.
That's great. I went to the University of Alabama, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love Gold Coast, man. I would live there in a second.
The Gold Coast is fucking amazing. The United Kingdom, it gives you depression. It's so cold. It's raining all the time. I understand why they colonized the entire fucking world. I get it. I went to the United Kingdom. My miss was like, "You want to go to like Edinburgh for 1 year?" And stupidly, I said, "Yeah, let's go." And
Listen, anyone that comes to the UK within 3 months, you will be depressed and you will have vitamin D deficiency.
And I'm black too. You know. I was so depressed. You have no idea. It was so terrible. You know, I had to get like an IV drip. I had to get so terrible. You know, I don't know. I understand why the British people colonized the entire planet. They had no choice because that island, either you like football, either you like rugby, either you like something, but staying there, it's so bad for your soul. You get so depressed. And she was like, "Oh, we have to come back to Australia." I'm like, "Yeah, for real, love, you know." So bad. I have no clue.
So, in summation, we have discussed and analyzed an attack by a Clubhouse super user here known as Andrew R., the false messiah, the Antichrist, who has wasted his flock, his sheep's time like no other. But maybe he's just holding them hostage because he wants to keep them safe because of all the terror that exists in the world. But we believe that we have essentially correctly diagnosed the situation with a TBI, maybe even PTSD, because coming out of the closet can be actually probably very terrifying if you're not, used to abuse and you've never been indoctrinated or conditioned. But we can't talk about such things because if you do, that could be labeled as hate speech by YouTube Live and the moderators sitting in the Philippines who are protecting individuals who are protected from certain forms of speech and conversation or communication. But, we aren't speaking ill of Andrew because we really hate the guy and want to see him, 10 feet under. I mean, it's really more of like a Clubhouse thing where it's like, this is, it's like you should appreciate everybody here because everybody here is like on the same boat. But, it's basically, see, a roast is not a good roast unless like there's some love in it. There's got to be some love in the baking, in the brownies, But unfortunately, some people like to go overboard, and they want to put too much in the brownie. And then the brownie just becomes like a chocolate mess and you lose the original browniness of the brownie and you're just like, I kind of just like a plain brownie. But anyways, when you make a pass at a man at a party and you're coming out of the closet and you're still a little unsure of whether or not you could really go through with it and take another man's cock and slurp it and suck it and deep throat it and spit all over that cock, and jerk it off until it comes in your mouth and be like, "I'm gay and I love it." Like when that big cum explosion happens in your mouth. But when you're greeted with a fist to the head and not the cock that you were looking for, it turns out that it really hurts to get punched in the face by a heavy-set man who just drank a bunch of Caribbean rum and you took your finger and did a dip test in his butt crack and it turned you on. And then you got punched in the face for trying to, maybe suck his ear a little bit to turn him on. then, you got a really bad traumatic brain injury to deal with, and you got to go through a little bit of therapy. So what do? You start, you go through a vocational therapy, and you come on Clubhouse and you start practicing English again, because you now have a speech impediment. But through the good graces of our Lord Jesus Christ in the New Testament, if you want to just preach the mercy and the charity of our Lord Jesus, he can kill 2 birds or 3 birds with 1 stone. It's kind of brilliant, actually, Daniel, if you think about it. He is recovering as well as, getting divine forgiveness and helping to illuminate other people who, could become victims like Andrew R. But by helping other victims or potential victims, do they become his victims of time manipulation and mind control? Because mind control is technically time control.
Absolutely. Mind control is time control. Communication is projection. But not all projection is information. The bottom line is that of all the faces that you could put on after you've been traumatized, you don't want to look like, who Albert E. Newman is? Like, you don't want your...
Who, me worry? Me worry? Who, me?
Look at the missing tooth on this guy. Now, of all the embarrassment, and the trauma that... Imagine your trauma being decorated in, slapstick comedy. It was extraordinarily traumatic for him to be punched out at that party. Now, but there was also something funny about it because he had a big gap in his tooth. His tooth was missing. He looked like a moron. And I think that what happened was the PTSD, the STD, whatever he sustained at that, when he was hitting on that heterosexual man aggressively. All of that was escaped.
Put me out of my misery, please. Tell me who the fuck we're talking about.
Andrew R. You don't happen to know who Andrew R. is, but he was at a party. He got punched in the mouth for making untoward gestures toward a heterosexual man. The man punched him, and essentially his tooth flew out of his mouth. Now, this was an extremely traumatic experience, but there's a veneer of comedy. There's a comedy associated with the tooth slowly flew out like a cartoon. He frantically was searching the floor for it. He was crying, and as he was crying, he had a lisp because of this missing tooth and a big gap in his teeth, and everyone just started laughing like a sad clown. That he was a sad man. And I hope that, and then what happened was he came to Clubhouse, and this is his safe space where he could play the man that he wasn't at that party in front of everybody. Everyone in the community saw it. It was like a block party. I'm sorry. That's what happened to him. He was humiliated publicly. Tooth knocked the fuck out. Dignity knocked the fuck out. He was already blown out, wrapped it anally, given that he's a homosexual man. And what I'll say in closing is just that at some point, maybe he'll stop wasting his time, he'll read a book, and all communication is not necessarily hypnosis, but it is hypnosis of a sort.
Also, to add to that, there's another guy on here called Mikhail. He goes to Megatron's room. This is another guy that goes around saying that women have filthy mouths. Yet that guy's sucking cock all day long. He needs to go pray away that gay.
That's fucking funny.
Why is your accent so different, Sector? I have to ask you.
I'm unique.
It's insane.
I don't know.
The way you speak is so unique. It's like
What up,
it's so
what up,
terrible. It's
CM?
Kind of nice. It's like weird.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah,
really distinctive
I'm like,
voice.
why do you speak like this? And somebody else speaks like this. Is so terrible, you know. And you come here to just like you have to praise the cocoa. Where I'm just like, wow, this is a United Kingdom.
We got CM here in the room.
And it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so terrible. You know what I mean? So,
CM knows a lot about Andrew, and you know CM has spent a lot of time in flat Earth rooms. I've listened to him, you know, have very lengthy conversations and demand that the flat earthers abide, you know, by his strict regulations. Otherwise, he will not engage in the flat Earth conversation. He has to have some limitations as to the conversation, but you know, CM is very charitable with his time. But you know, Daniel, when Andrew was punched in the face and the tooth came out of the head, I like to visualize it as like a Matrix movie, as they both look at the tooth and blood splatter in the air, and they're all just observing the tooth fly by simultaneously, slow-mo, and they're like, whoa, bro, my tooth is flying across the room, bro. Why did you punch me? I just wanted to spread love with you, bro. I wanted to have a love experience with you, bro. And you decided to punch me in the face as a result of my tongue going in your ear.
Yeah, like I said, John, I try and look at it as as the slapstick we can draw from it. Even though it was a traumatic brain injury and it was probably triggered some kind of PTSD, whatever, not to make light of it. But I like to look at it from a slapstick perspective, like you are. Imagine just a grown man, a flamboyant man at a party, barking up the wrong tree. Barking up the, I mean, if ever the phrase barking up the wrong tree were apropos, it would be in describing his unprompted homosexual advancements toward this guy. He was barking up the wrong tree, and it was funny. He was he was wearing a little boa, like he was doing this whole like flamboyant nonsense shtick. And then what happened was he just got sideswiped. This guy punched him with everything he had, knocked his tooth out, and that tooth slowly was revolving in the air, and everyone was like, you heard a collective sigh in the crowd. Oh my God. As you see this like slapstick style comedy unfolding before you. And when Andrew's tooth came out, and everyone was just like, they knew they shouldn't be laughing, but it was funny, particularly when the sound that he made, like he squealed when he got hit. He didn't know, just was a complete shock. And it was concussive. So he suffered a concussion simultaneously.
He got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, he got knocked the fuck out for barking at the wrong tree. And basically, you ever see like something so slapstick where it's like a guy slipping on a banana? Like it'd be like, essentially what happened was he slips on a banana and like has an actual traumatic experience doing it. I'm sorry, but there is comedy to be had in all of life's deepest traumas. And I think that, Andrew, you can cut over this, bro. You didn't deserve to be, well, maybe you did deserve it. All right, you did deserve that. But maybe you could sort of find a way to forgive yourself for being so fucking stupid.
So, Daniel, 4 years ago, he was telling us about what he was talking about with the man who attacked him. And it turns out that he was actually talking about Jordan Peterson and pronouns. And it was then that Andrew detected that maybe his gaydar identified a man that would be susceptible and favorable to his sexual advances. But it turns out that the man was not favorable towards Andrew's advances. And as a result, he suffered the lethal blow that took away at least 60% of his brain's, processing power, capability to engage in meaningful discourse of any sort. So, Daniel, it's important to always practice charity with Andrew because, don't forget, we know what he does for a living. He's a house cleaner and cleaning up human shit and rat shit in homes of hoarders, throughout the Rust Belt. It can't be easy. And, he's got his flock here. And it's important that Christ have his shepherds here on earth to help tend the flock as we await his glorious return to Mount Zion. But, imagine what he had to tell the dentist. Like, oh no, Andrew, what happened? Well, I was at this party and I was talking about Jordan Peterson and the whole pronoun thing. And, well, I stuck my tongue down. Oh, hey, CM is here. Welcome, CM. Have you made any...
This is comedy gold for me in the morning.
Have you made any revelating mathematical discoveries recently? Or is it all just like schizophrenic gibberish at this point in your head?
Yeah, the latter.
Schizophrenic gibberish. Shit. Oh, John, listen, literally, you have me dying with laughter every day.
He's a comic, dude, for sure.
Man, that dude, John, will laugh me into bed.
Have you seen his PTR? Look at his PTR right now. You know that's his real setup?
Man, he's cool, man. He makes my day.
He has like 30 accounts going at once. All streaming. Right
I
now we're
can't
doing
believe
stream
you
to YouTube.
moved Nottingham. I love that contest since I was a kid. God bless you.
You heard, Saxon? Say hi to YouTube.
Yeah.
We're all being streamed to YouTube right now.
Hello, YouTube.
Yeah, John.
This is Saxon from Nottingham, the land of Robin Hood, who steals from the rich and gives to the poor.
From South Sudan, they steal from the rich and gives to the poor. John just streams every single fucking day. I just told him I had no chance at elections, but he brought you guys here. I think I have the
How
better
many
chance
viewers?
at elections.
How many viewers do you get on YouTube?
And that,
Not many.
We get like 2, 3, 4.
No, some of my
even
top
5, even 5.
some of my top live streams have thousands and thousands of views, but it's not me.
Okay, fucking better. I'm talking, bro. Don't lie.
I'm not lying. I have many thousands.
Better of thousands. They have like 3, 4, 5, bro. God bless.
Some of them don't get any views, but it's weird how the algorithm says, okay, we're gonna give you views, because sometimes it spikes it. In the very beginning, you'll have 100 viewers, but nobody sticks around. They just go, oh, this guy again. And then sometimes in the comments, I'll get, Jesus Christ, how many fucking accounts do you have? I keep seeing you. I keep finding you. That's always fun. And then I have my fans. I have people even making homosexual statements like, I want to taste your jizz. Oh, wow, thanks. You're going to have to find a boyfriend somewhere else. I'm spoken for.
hey, John, the big election is this month?
Yeah, March 17th. I hope I get 10 write-in votes.
John's gonna win Chicago, a city of like 2 million people.
What are you talking about? You got 13 million people here.
Oh, I was like the proper city, but yeah, probably the greater Chicago area, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, so I filed a write-in candidacy with all the precincts in the district. It was like 16 different emails, and many, like the biggest bitches wrote me back, and they're like, "I'm rejecting this application for write-in candidacy. Good luck. Bye." Like no response. It's so fucking stupid. So I'm not a write-in candidate in every precinct because some of these fucking clerks are useless fucking pawns.
But John, I thought the candidacy thing was like really like a troll, no? Or you're really serious.
Yeah, I'm really doing it, but just to get any actual views, to get any press, to even let a voter know who the fuck you are, it's impossible. Like your average person is living in an information, bubble silo, and they're never going to hear about John Kitover. So the whole thing is like an experiment to see like how many people I can actually connect with. And I got a lot of letters from people. Do you know how many people wrote me? Oh my God! I got an envelope full of letters from pro-life abortion activists telling me that 70 million babies have been killed since 1975. Please help support us if you get into office. It's like a chain letter thing. They mail me nonstop. Physical mail.
Snail mail. Anyways, I thought it was a troll, John, because I mean, suppose somebody does become interested in your race and your candidacy. He types in John Kitover onto YouTube, and then sees that horror show of all your live streams. Like, oh no, horror! The horror of a man in a home live streaming himself on YouTube. The horror! Meanwhile, wars are happening, murders are happening down the street. One guy sitting in a fedora. Yeah, exactly. See, Sam, the other thing that, I've realized as I have run for office is women. You end up meeting a lot of women, and women are attracted to the rising star. So part of this is also a ploy to find a wife, Sam. There's a whole universal strategy happening here.
John, do you know the two meanings of the word horror?
Horror.
John's pretty smart. I'm sure
John is incredibly switched on. Yeah, John and I go way back. John, did you get my letter?
Which one, about the founders of Israel?
No, about the one that I wanted to taste.
What did you say, Punch?
So the wanting to taste your jizz.
Oh, no. You don't happen to be named Declan, do you?
No.
That's some other little spunk.
Okay.
No, didn't get your letter yet, but, if you want to just tell me right now that you want to taste my jism, I mean, I can put some in the refrigerator for you tonight and ship it to you tomorrow via FedEx if you want. Just depends if you got Cash App.
I gotta go back to bed. Yeah. It's a good time to go back to bed.
Yeah, 4 a.m. is my cutoff.
It's time there now, John. It's time now.
So,
it's the time where you are, John.
Also, one of the reasons why Andrew R. is up so late on Clown House, because he goes all night. Like, he doesn't sleep. And then come about 11 a.m., 12.
What was he that you were talking about? You were talking about him being a particular room. Which room was that? The one that gives you less breaks last time.
Well, Daniel has left us, so maybe the joke has run out of steam, but yeah, we're just roasting Andrew R. on this app.
Andrew R. The name sounds familiar.
He runs Jesus Christ, God Talk rooms.
Oh, that's right. I remember that now, yes.
Hey, brother. Jesus Christ is the best.
Well, I suppose if you are trans, Christ would have to forgive you, wouldn't he? The nicest Christian guy you've ever met. So the election is March 17th. After that, I'm pivoting to the mayoral election here in Chicago. So 8 more days to run for Congress. And I'm sure we will lose, but, you know, it will be interesting to see how many write-in votes we get, because they will announce it. John Kitover got these many votes. And I'm pretty sure I have connected with, you know, because I do believe people look at the internet. And even though people may not.
Are you excited?
I'm actually just glad it's going to be over. Like, I'm tired of, you know.
Trying to be a candidate.
Well, I'm tired of knowing I'm not on the ballot, you know. So it's like, now I can start fresh again as the mayor.
What is it going to take you?
To the mayoralship of Chicago. I'm going to influence the next mayoral election.
Oh, pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Politics is nothing more than being hypersocial. Most people do not want to use their identity on the internet. They want to protect their identity and conceal their movements on the internet. Not me, though. I'm willing to bear all for the sake of liberty, justice, truth, freedom, and the American way. Did you see that fake Jim Carrey was actually a fake Jim Carrey? That was a guy using aesthetic props to impersonate Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey didn't have plastic surgery. Isn't all puffy face. Hello?
I'm looking at your books there. There's like a Nostradamus book.
Yep, the N-word. When I say N-word, people are always like, just say N-word. And I'm like, Nostradamus.
Tantra for Westerners.
Tantra.
The Devil's Diary. Shobo Jane. I can't make out any others.
Shobogenzo. It's a famous Japanese Zen book. Zen poetry. See, this is the problem with Christians and Jews. Maybe not so much Jews, but maybe more Christians. But India, China, and Japan are full of spirituality, but they just present it in a different way. And if you study it, it's like studying math, you know, it takes time to understand it because it's all just translation. Like God and Tao are essentially the same words. So, but we're just so hyper conditioned on our English that when we introduce new concepts by using words you've never used before, it's hard to understand it in the same way that you know the word God. And when people say, that's not what philosophy has, that philosophy has nothing to do with God. Oh, really? Geez, how many books have you read? Because every book I read about philosophy seems to constantly talk about God nonstop. So clearly some people want to turn philosophy into something that it's not really what it is. They're doing something else. It's more like academic philosophy as opposed to like spiritual philosophy. Hello?
Hey, John, you don't think you'd get more votes if you started, like, role-playing like a Christian politician?
It's possible, but I don't want to go out of my way, you know? I like my shtick. And since I'm running...
You're never going to get elected. You need to be a Christian politician.
I don't know how to break the bad news to you, Sam, but the voters don't choose who the next mayor is. That's just the way politics works. The voters don't actually choose. But what I can do is try to... the State Board of Elections essentially chooses who the winner is because they determine who's on the ballot. And no one has the energy or the memory to write in John Kitover. They have to actually just have a hole to push a button because that's how stupid we are. But the whole thing is it gives me the ability to do public communication in a way that I could never do unless I was running for politics, which is just basically social communication. You don't really do anything as a politician. It's the art of actually not doing anything, which is what I want to achieve, which is we need to stop this insane spending, which, the books just aren't balanced. And everybody loves a balanced book.
If you got elected, would you continue streaming every day?
Yeah, I would just turn the entire office into a live stream and then do Clubhouse. I would have the constituents come on Clubhouse and use it as our preferred platform for complaints and ticketing. I got a pothole on my street. Okay, well, have you gone on Clubhouse to submit your complaint yet? I'll have like Oddcheck. I'll pay Oddcheck to sit here and field complaints for constituents. Oh no, that's so horrible and so terrible. Mayor Kitover will definitely fix that for you. That's just awful, terrible.
Be your administrator.
Yeah.
It's not so bad, Kitover. You can do whatever you want and everything else like that. It's not so bad.
You're gonna be the administrator.
Oddcheck hates libertarians. He thinks they're full of shit. They're losers.
Patrick, do you like paperwork?
I hate fucking paperwork.
Oh, there you go. So everything's gonna be digital. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's gonna be digital.
I hate paperwork. I hate libertarians. I think you keep running for Mayor Kitover. I hope you win. I hope you shake things up. We need different people, everything else like that. But I just think like libertarians is horrible people. But I hope you win. I hope you win. By the way,
Patrick, you're from South Sudan, yeah?
yeah, 100%.
So you're on the right side of history. Congratulations to you.
What do you mean? We won.
You won. Exactly. You won. You were like this.
We won.
Don't take this.
By the way, with your accent, I can tell you're Somali, 100%.
I'm Somali?
With your accent, I can tell.
Come on, Echik. Echik, you know exactly who I am. We go way back.
I know, terrible.
Who?
But I'm just saying, South Sudanese, we won. We love America. We love Israel. The gods. And we're going to keep continue winning. But libertarianism is terrible. Libertarianism is terrible.
Have you made friends with the Somalilanders yet?
Somalilanders?
You made friends with them yet?
I wish.
Come on, dudes. You South Sudanese and you Somalilanders should get together and become one.
I said I wish. Good people, great people.
Hey, A-Check, who's worse, libertarians or evil leftists?
Oh, come on. That's easy.
That's the leftists.
Libertarians can actually change.
The leftists are so bad, it's terrible.
Evil lefties can't change. They can't.
The lefties are so evil, it's so bad, like, nobody can even convince them to be, like, act normal.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do the lefties, do they eat babies?
Come on, dude.
Bro, they kill fucking babies. What are you talking about?
Do they eat them after they kill them?
Come on, guys.
Bro, they kill fucking... These lefties abort their babies, and they're like, oh, I'm like, I have strong opinions today. The lefties fucking kill their babies. Terrible people.
Lefties are like cancer, a disease
They're like cancer.
that actually destroy places, not build.
I mean, like in
They're
your
the
country,
worst of
Zach
us.
Yes,
Polanski?
yes, in my country, the lefties are a disease.
Like
They're
Zach
a problem.
Polanski? Zach Polanski, is he a lefty?
Who's Zelensky?
Zach Polanski.
Zach Polanski is a
Is
candidate.
he in Labour?
No, he's
No,
not
he's
green.
fucking Greens. He's the head of the Greens. He's a scumbag, terrible person.
Oh no, but do you know what? If I thought the Green Party had a chance of getting in, I'd vote the Green Party.
You would? Then you're
Yeah.
a lefty. You're a lefty.
No, he's got good policies for the country and the people.
Do you know who he is?
Are you sure we're talking about the same person here?
I don't think we are. His name is Zach Polanski. He actually changed his name. His name was David Theodore Herzl Holden.
Oh, no.
Nah, that guy is such a scumbag. Zach Polanski is like the head of the Green Party. He's so terrible.
Hold on.
No, we must be talking about the wrong person, dude.
Hold on. Do you know that he changed his name? He changed his name from David Theodore Herzl Holden to Zach Polanski. Did you know that?
No, when did this happen?
Look it up. Do me a favor. Just Google David Theodore Herzl Holden. And then look up Zach Polanski. They're one and the same, one of the same. Now, Zach Polanski once believed that he could make women's breasts enlarge through hypnosis. And he was the
I know
one.
who you're talking about now.
And he
No,
was the
I
one.
can't believe that he had a different name. So how long has he been using this name?
Well, spread the word, Saxon. Be the Anglo-Saxon that you are and colonize the word.
Man, listen, bro. If I open my mouth, I get arrested for free speech, man. There's no free speech in the UK anymore. What are you talking about?
Really?
Do you know? Look it up. Do you know when Donald Trump visited the UK, his most recent visit? The journalist said to Donald Trump that 1,200 people have been arrested for freedom of speech. Keir Starmer tried to deny it, but it's not true. The journalists don't lie. The statistics don't lie.
Where is this so-called freedom of speech? Where is it?
Go and have a look about people being sent to jail for freedom of speech. Just search the internet, it'll come up in a news article.
It's terrible what's happening in the United Kingdom. What you guys are going through is so horrible, so bad. And you get arrested for speaking up for the truth. Horrible.
You got arrested for saying what?
So basically what happened was a guy put a Facebook post on his Facebook saying basically he didn't want his taxpayers' money being paid towards these illegal migrants in hotels, right?
Okay.
He got 36 months in jail. Then
Just for
you've
saying
got just for saying that, and then you've got a Pakistani Muslim
Yeah.
that was charged for being a part of a member of a grooming gang that groomed a child and sadistically raped this child and violated her in many ways. He gets less of a sentence. I mean, make it make sense at this point.
But let me ask you a question about what he said freedom of speech was. Was he done for saying something because it came across as being racist? Or was he
Girl, fuck your fucking racism.
No,
When you rape a child, nobody gives a damn. These Pakistanis, wait a second. Wait. These Pakistanis, you know what? Shut the fuck up for a second.
Can I finish my sentence?
Wait a second.
Let me finish my sentence.
Stop.
Please.
Stop.
Please.
Stop.
Well,
You know what?
why are you talking
Shut
him off?
the
You shouldn't have took him off. He's
dropped
entitled to his
himself.
opinion.
He dropped himself. Where the hell is he? So I can bring him back up.
He's entitled to his opinion, and if telling someone that
No, I'm bringing him back up. Like, I don't believe in free speech. Somebody
all
dropped
I
him.
wanted to do was finish my sentence.
So if you think, hold on a minute, if you think saying, I do not want my tax being paid to these illegal migrants, how is that threatening? How is that anything wrong with saying that?
Listen, whatever that person did for Grape Gang ganging or whatever it is, that's abhorrent. That absolutely, they should be thrown away.
It's a fucking rape gang.
Should they?
And the Pakistanis rape people. It's a
They should
fact.
throw away. They should lock them up and throw away the key.
Yeah, but this is the point what we're making out. Even with the Facebook post being posted, given that whether you want to put it down as hate or whatever.
My question is, what was he put away for? What was he arrested for? For what?
He's saying it was put away for hate speech.
What was the charge?
Hate speech.
But there's no, like, in what way hate speech? It must have been on a racial or an incitement to violence type of thing.
Well, I don't know, because would you say putting a Facebook post is inciting violence just for having an opinion?
Well,
Say you don't want your tax to be paid. I mean, the government can say whatever they want. The reality is Donald Trump and everyone else knows that our freedom of speech in the UK is fucking nothing. We don't have it.
Have you got an article related to that particular case?
Hold on, let me just put these dishes in the dishwasher and I'll put the link in the chat. Just 1 minute. I mean, it's a simple Google search. Have you got another device? Or has anyone got a device? Have you got another device or not? Or do you want me to get the link and post it in the chat? Which one?
I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Any article related to that particular case?
Hold on, I'll get it.
You really want to talk about the Pakistani rape gangs?
No, I'm
and
not
the terrible things that they've done.
That's disgusting.
What are you talking about? The
conversation.
Pakistanis. Wait. The Pakistanis have been raping white and British women for the last 20 fucking years, and nobody's saying anything about it. And people have been saying something about it on social media recently, and it's a great thing that's happening. So it's like, these animals are such rapists. Pakistan is a terrible country. It's a terrible religion. Muhammad is a pedo. And they've been raping white British girls. And the white British girls have been talking about it for the last 12 years, 13 years, 18 years, 20 years. And it's a horrible thing that's been happening. But the British government is just, it's a terrible thing that's happening. I don't know. People like Saxon maybe want to talk about it, String maybe want to talk about it, but Pakistan is a horrible country. I hate Pakistan. I think it's one of the worst countries in the whole world. So bad, so terrible. One of the worst of the worst. So when you come in, you talk about it, they talk about Asian grouping gangs. It's a horrible thing to say, you know. It's Pakistan grooming gangs. They're the worst of the worst. They're child molesters. They're pedophiles. They're terrible people. And they're the worst of the worst. So people, when they come here, they just they want to talk about terrible things. These are
right, so I put the link in the chat. It's an actual police.
So bad.
It's an official police link on Facebook. Go and have a look.
It's so bad.
And they're putting it under, hold on a minute, dude. They're putting it under malicious communications. I don't see how malicious communications by posting a post on Facebook saying they don't want their tax being paid to illegal migrants is malicious communication. It's a fact. That's what happened. It's what's happening. People don't want to pay billions and billions of pounds in taxes.
Right, let's have a look here. Hold on 1 moment.
I mean, I can also give you a link to the grooming gangs. I mean, this has been going on for 30 odd years. And the government's involved in it. Parliament, judges,
okay, let's have a look at malicious communications. Malicious communication cases in the UK involve sending indecent, grossly offensive, or threatening messages with intent to cause distress, punishable under the Malicious Communications Act 1988 or Communications Act 2003. Penalties.
This is the point. This is the point.
Penalties include up to 2 years in
Are you
prison,
finished?
with the recent cases focusing on social media, harassment, and digital communication.
Right. So please tell me how putting a Facebook status saying I do not want my employment tax being paid for illegal immigrant malicious communication. Please.
You keep repeating yourself, for God's sake, stop it. We've heard it 5 times now. It's subjective and arbitrary enforcement, obviously. Hello?
So tax being used for what?
What I'm saying is when people pay
For
taxes.
illegal immigrants.
Yes, so when illegal migrants come to this country and they're getting housing, they're getting an allowance, they're getting all this funding, who's paying for that? It's the taxpayers that's paying for those people. Not the government. Normal working class families are paying taxes. That's how they get funding. People don't want to pay it. We want to pay taxes and it be put into our country for our people, not for anyone else's benefit. This is the point.
In a significant ruling, the Court of Appeal has quashed the conviction of the appellant for an offence contrary to Section 1 of the Malicious Communications Act 1988, based on an email written to local councillors in a political dispute. Right. Okay. Is this the one of... Oh, no. It's a different one.
There's many more. There is many more out there, but you'd have to search the internet. But like I said, the point is here, right? I mean, you don't live in the UK, so you don't know what's going on. I live here. I see it every day. We have an issue. Listen, I'm not saying diversity isn't great. I do like diversity. But when diversity is causing criminal... right, let's say for instance with the child rape, the grooming and all that, when you're committing these atrocities, you should not be allowed to walk on British soil. It's as simple as that. We do not want it here.
No, look, that's abhorrent, and I don't think we should even give that the time of day. That deserves to be thrown behind the slammer and the key thrown away, without a shadow of a doubt. But this idea of somebody saying something against illegal migrants and being put away for it just seems crazy.
Well, it's there in black and white. The journalists covered all this. I mean, the journalist said it to Keir Starmer when Donald Trump came to visit. When he came to the last visit, his last state visit, he said, even Donald Trump knows it's an issue, and Keir Starmer can lie through his back teeth. The problem is when you have a government that are when you have a government that is working for the minority and not the majority, there's something going on here. There's a problem.
But why don't the British go out into the streets and protest?
But this is the problem. Did you see the last protest in September? 2.5 million people turned up for that protest with Tommy Robinson.
That was for Tommy Robinson.
What did Keir Starmer say in his speech a few days later? He said, "This is far-right racial radicals." This is what he said in his speech. We can't even put a flag up, a patriotic flag, in our country without Muslims ripping them down and or other people saying this is racist just for flying a flag. I mean, this is what the country's come to. You just have to go on the internet and search it, bro. Like, it's everywhere.
Have the British learned nothing from their cousins across the Thames? I mean, across the Channel? Have you learned nothing from your cousins from across the Channel when they did the French Revolution in whatever it was? And,
do you know what?
Said, let them eat cake.
This is the problem. This is the problem. I do not know what it's going to take for the people to wake up. Right? I do not know what it's going to take. But something, and I can feel it coming. There's some civil war coming. There will be civil war. It's uninevitable.
Maybe sunshine. Sunshine will make people wake up. Get rid of the clouds.
Well,
because everybody lives under a cloud in that country, don't they? No offense.
Well, I don't. I'm very awake, so.
No, I know you're awake. I'm talking.
But you've got to look at me. I'm just a normal person. I'm a nobody. I was on TikTok for 2 years.
Don't put yourself down.
But what I'm saying is, I'm a nobody, so I can't advocate for the people. Tommy Robinson is the voice of the British people. Right? This is why he's got so many supporters. The point is, every time he turns up for a protest or people turn up for protests, we're branded EDL, far-right thugs, right? And this is a problem. It's none of that. We're just patriotic people. We do not want this shit on our land.
The thing is, Britain has always been the bastion of civil liberties. So
I mean, you got Anjum Chowdhury. he was jailed for trying to advocate. He was a known Muslim terrorist. He was a known Muslim radical. He got locked up for advocating for Sharia law. They want Sharia law. They're advocating for Sharia law. If you want Sharia law, fuck off back to Pakistan or wherever it is you come from and practice it there. You cannot come to a Western democracy country and try and change the laws of that land. It's not going to work. They want to introduce blasphemy laws. They're telling people in the most recent thing, just I think probably the last couple of weeks, that they do not want people eating in front of Muslims during Ramadan. What?
But hold on a second. Can I just say something? If you can
You don't care about Ramadan. Ramadan is terrible.
Hold on a second. I want to make a very important point. If you go to a Muslim country, a moderate Muslim country, but if you go to one, all the restaurants are open during Ramadan. What's the big spiel?
You tell me.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
You know, the Muslims make a big deal about, you know what Ramadan is? And I tell my Muslim friends, they eat early in the morning, they skip lunch, and they eat dinner like pigs, and they say, oh, well, I just fasted the whole fucking day. Ramadan is terrible. Nobody believes
I
what the
want to
hell
say,
that's like.
if we went to a Muslim country and tried to integrate our culture and our way of life there, it just wouldn't happen, right?
Exactly.
So they should have the same respect
I
for British.
don't agree with you to some degree, because if you go to some moderate Muslim countries,
You're talking about Dubai. I wouldn't even say Dubai is, even though it's a majority Muslims, they're more secular. Same as Morocco, it's more secular.
You can also do that in some, to a certain degree. You can do it in North African Muslim countries like Morocco, for instance. They're very.
I just said Morocco.
Did you say Morocco? Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, my apologies.
What I'm saying is, I don't have a problem with if these people want to come here and they want to better their life and they want to live a modest, peaceful life and not.
They don't want to better their life. They want to take over your life.
What I'm saying is, going to a shop and stealing something, that's nothing. But when you're raping young children, or because regardless, anyone under the age of 16 is a child in my view. So if you're doing this kind of thing, or you're committing any kind of violent terrorist attack, or even thinking about, if you're known to the terrorist watch list, we don't want it here. We do not want it here. Live peacefully. Just integrate. That's all we're saying. Integrate and have an happy life. That's it.
But the government has had a policy of allowing these migrants to come onto UK shores and then hasn't bothered to send them back. They did have a plan for Rwanda, but that fell through the.
Mate, that was the biggest failure in history. They spent all those millions, billions, whatever spent on Rwanda, and didn't even send one person back. Like, come on, dude, it was just a financial drain on taxpayers' money yet again.
Yeah, I mean, there was some.
I'm going to be honest. What we need to come out of the EHRC, so the Human Rights Law of Europe. We need to come out of that. We need to take control of our borders, and our decisions should be our decisions, not up to European Union Human Rights Law to decide whether to deport these people back or not. If you are using this law to appeal a deportation decision from the immigration of the UK, and you have done something abhorrent in this country, there should be no ifs and buts. You should be gone. That's it.
I agree with you. But what about, let's say, for instance, those Europeans who are living in Britain and have been there for 30, 40 years, and who are not British citizens but are European citizens, and through none other than Brexit have kind of been put on a sort of plateau to say, hey ho.
Yeah, Brexit was a fucking disaster, bro. It was a disaster.
But everything that you pro in terms of coming out the EHRC, and in light of human rights being dictated by Britain themselves for the British people, which I totally agree with, don't get me wrong, is very Brexitite in its passion.
Right. With Brexit, right, with Brexit, the
Do you see
reason
what
people
I'm saying?
vote.
But do you see
Yeah,
what
but
I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but with Brexit, the reason people voted to leave because Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage gave this facade saying, right, if we come out of the EU, there'll be more funding to the NHS, there'll be more, we can close the borders, we can stop this. They've not done none of it. They've not done nothing of it. That's all the people was bothered about. Close the borders, put the money into our country, into the people that are here, not into foreign nationals. You know, I do not begrudge anyone wanting to come to UK and have a better life, but just don't commit crimes. I mean, it was a few years ago, an Afghanistan man came here. He raped a young child, went to jail for 4 years. The Afghanistan government told our parliament, send him back here, we'll deal with him. They protected his rights as a human being, let him stay in the country, then to go on and rape a woman. Like, what the hell's going on? And they're protecting these people. If you are protecting him because of this old human rights bullshit, what about the human rights of them victims that are going to have to suffer that trauma for the rest of their lives?
But Saxon, human rights in itself is a much bigger issue. Did you see who the United Nations voted in as the human rights leader of the Council for the United Nations themselves? And look, the United Nations is supposed to be the governing body of humankind worldwide. Who did they vote in for human rights management and overseeing? Do you know who they did? Do you have any idea?
No.
It was the country of the Islamic regime of Iran. Look it up.
And it's crazy to me, to be honest. I think, can I be honest? Be honest, because you seem like an intelligent person.
Thank you.
Right? I believe, and tell me if I'm just being paranoid, if you think it's just a conspiracy. I think this country and the government are more working for the minority than they are the majority, the indigenous people of the land. And also, I'm starting to question, are they allowing this mass migration to use these people again as an army against the indigenous people at this point?
Well, let me tell you something, Saxon. You're talking about the UK specifically, aren't you?
Yeah, UK specifically, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me tell you. The problem with the United Kingdom is that it's had an open entry for those who've lived in the UK to become part of society and integrate in the way that they've wanted to integrate, not in the way that the governments wanted them to integrate. So therefore, they've taken positions of power and have infiltrated those positions in such a way that it's too late now to turn back the clock. And that's why Tommy Robinson is so upset, because from the inner echelons of the society within British culture, it has been usurped by that of which is so different to the culture and wants and desires of British people themselves.
And I agree.
Further to that, the problem that you have is that at the moment, there is a small percentage of different cultures. I say small percentage, but exponentially this percentage is going to grow if things don't change in the UK to a point whereby it will take over the culture of British society and become part and parcel of the fabric of the society from that culture within and change the dynamic completely for Britain for good.
Right, and I agree totally what you're saying.
And that's going
the
to
point
be
is, Tommy Robinson's being silenced, right? All the time they're throwing him in jail. They're trying to silence that dude, right? They do not like him. My issue is when you say about these people coming into Parliament, yeah, I don't think if you are a Pakistani, Indian, black, anyone, if you are not white and English, you should not be in Parliament at all. At all. It's like me, as a white woman, going to another nation, another country, and trying to go into their parliament. They would not accept it.
Actually, I don't quite agree with that statement, because I don't think the colour of one's skin should determine the unjust reference to overall racism within the country itself.
Well, okay, if you want to put it like that, then we shouldn't be having Muslims in Parliament
let me just finish my
that have
statement
these
for a
radical
second.
views.
One's And I think where the problem comes in is where religion supersedes culture, right? Okay, where you've got religion which supersedes culture against a culture that has not been identified or taken on by that respective religion. Now, there is one religion out there which unfortunately sees itself as being over-dominant based on the idea of expansionism, right?
Right.
Okay. There is another religion out there. There are another two religions out there which don't proselytize individuals. They don't try and bring people into the religion. They're not preaching effectively for people to join the religion on a day-to-day basis. Those are two fundamental different types of ideologies. You've got one which wants to expand, and the ideas of those laws related to that religion become dominant, and that will happen in the UK if it's not stopped.
And then you've got another one that's not doing it. But okay, and I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why. Now, over the course of a year, I'm just guessing a year, but it could have been going on longer. Christians that evangelize, that are preaching in the streets, have been arrested. A woman was arrested outside an abortion clinic, praying in her own mind. The police went up to this woman and said, "Are you praying?" She said, "Yes, I'm praying in my own mind." They arrested her. Christians, whether you like to hear it or not, Christians are being persecuted in the UK.
Wow.
It's so hard. I can't even express the frustration I'm feeling right now, because look, your normal, everyday, average Muslim that gets up, goes to work, is bothered about supporting a family and lives in peace, great. But people are coming here. I mean, you've got Qatar and another Arab country that have cut funding from colleges and universities, saying that the Muslims are coming to the UK and they're being radicalised. Why is the UK allowing people to be radicalised? Why is this happening? There's something wrong. There's something dangerously wrong with that.
It's so true. The UAE just said recently they don't want any people to go from the UAE to go study in the UK because it's so radical as a terrorism regime and everything else like that.
And then you've got the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood. They was originally from the Middle East, right? They was banned from the Middle East. Guess what? They're here in the UK. How is the government allowing these people to be in the UK? Muslim Brotherhood. They are influencing Parliament. Not directly, because if we saw it directly, people are going to kick off. They are influencing the government in some sort of way.
Jackson, I've got a question for you. Why is it that the United Kingdom has not prescribed the IRGC as a terrorist organisation?
Oh, you tell me. I think it's absolutely absurd, to be honest. I think it's crazy. I mean, do you know Keir Starmer, when all this went on with Iran, right, and Israel and America started retaliation, Keir Starmer's speech was, "I have to think about certain communities in the UK." Why are you didn't retaliate and you didn't go against what Iran was doing to its people and what it's been doing to its people for all those years just because you're worried about the Muslim community that they'll kick off and take to the streets? That's not what it should be like. That's not right. So you're going to sit there, turn a blind eye, same with Cyprus. Iran attacked the Cyprus military base. They didn't even do anything. Like, look, my mind's baffled. I can't answer why this is happening. I just don't know.
Saxon, the fight has to come from sort of within, and it has to be done very carefully, because when you're on the edge of a precipice in relation to something blowing up in your face, which unfortunately, this is the reason why I truly believe England, France, some other European countries have not got involved at this stage, is because they are, for good reason, incredibly worried about their own citizens on the streets of main capital cities. And I'll tell you, the thing is that if, let's say, Keir Starmer, whom I don't like at all, were to actually go in and assist Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, right, full on, you would probably be seeing images similar to what you saw on 7-11 was it, in the UK?
Yeah.
7 or whatever it was, I can't remember. With bombings going off pretty much everywhere. I mean, I think they've thwarted.
I could understand that, but if his speech was addressed to say, right, the reason we're not retaliating, the reason we're not getting involved in this is because we're worried about, British people. It's not. His speech was more in
pandering.
Yeah, and that's not good.
Well,
it made it sound like he was bothered about the Muslim communities, rioting over it.
Look, it's a very, the thing is that he is a very weak leader. I'll give you that. But the coordination that has not been done in the way it should have been done with the United States has kind of left Britain out in the cold.
Yeah, of course it has.
And that's a real big problem for Britain because, Britain has a different culture, a different ideology, a different view from the rest of Europe. It's much more akin and aligned to American and Western values. But at the same time, to be a lonely little island in the middle of kind of this mess, you've got to do what you can to try and keep yourself alive. And I think he's that guy with his pants down right now, hoping he can battle the waves to get back to shore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and look, he didn't get voted in. He came in through the back door. I don't understand what it is with British politicians. They all seem to get through the back fucking door.
When he did his campaign in the last election, he was campaigning, he was going around doing his manifesto, saying, I'm going to do this, A, B, and C. He's not done anything. Or he's done completely the opposite. Right?
The other thing as well, people seem to forget this, but he, if I recall correctly, was the right-hand man of Jeremy Corbyn.
Yes, it was. And also, you got to remember,
Jeremy Corbyn,
he's a lawyer. His career was Crown prosecution, right? He was the lawyer for Jeffrey Epstein.
What?
He might not have had involvement with Jeffrey Epstein in that way, but he was the lawyer that defended Jeffrey Epstein in that case at some point in his career. So, to be honest with you, at this point, I think all politicians, they don't care about the people. They care about the power, the authority, the money. They're greedy bastards, all of them, right? They don't do anything in the best interest of the people. You've got the king. I mean, don't get me wrong, God bless our queen. She died. She was patriotic, Christian, Church of England, head of state, and she was brilliant. She would not stand for this mess. But the king, he's fucking useless. He's useless. At this point, people don't even like him. He can walk the street doing his, royal duties, and people are screaming at him, telling him, you're not my king. You're not my king. They do not like him because he is allowing this shit to happen. Whether he likes it or not, I know when it comes to parliamentary stuff, he's not supposed to get involved, but he has a duty to do what's right for the people as well. He can get involved and he can put a stop to this shit, but he don't. What does he do? He opens up Windsor Castle for Muslims to break fast. What does he do? On the most Christian holiday last year, he addresses the Muslims. Doesn't even address the Christians, by the way. I just don't understand it. And they say, we should be more diverse and we should embrace diversity. I embrace cultures. If I go to another country, and I travel a lot, and I love embracing other people's countries, whether it be in India, in North Africa, anywhere. I love it. Why can't they embrace British culture? Why cannot they embrace the British way of life? There's no wrong with that. We're not bad people. We're quite tolerant people. We're kind people. The British people are good people.
And this, my friend, is the problem. It's great to be tolerant, it's great to be nice, but when you're constantly placating and supporting the underdog, you then become naive and then get eaten up from the inside. And that's the problem. The thing is that I don't think the British truly understand what they've let into their country over the last 30, 40 years.
Well, you say the British, it's not us as the civilians, it's the government.
I mean the government. They don't understand. They believe that they've brought people into the country who are goodwill people who want to do good for the people of the country. But they've come with their cultures, they've come with their ideas, they've come with their religions, with no interest whatsoever of assimilating with society.
And I agree.
They don't care. They don't
I
want to.
agree. I agree.
They have no interest in it. In fact, what they want to do is they want to turn their culture into the dominant force within
And I
the
agree.
British
But
Army.
the thing is our government. Listen, if it was up to me as an individual, I'd be deporting all of them, anyone, and especially if you committed a crime that, such an offensive crime, you'd be gone straight away. The point is here, the people don't have a say. When we speak up, people are being arrested and sent to jail, left, right, and centre. Right? The thing is, like I said, I'm not saying every migrant that comes in. We've got some great doctors that have come from Pakistan, from Arab nations, from India, and them doctors are fantastic. Most of my doctors, one's from, I think he's from Nigeria, one of my doctors. One's from, they're brilliant doctors. I don't mind people like that. But if you're coming here and you're not adding to society in a positive way, you shouldn't be here. You should not be. This is what I mean. I can remember sending an email to 10 Downing Street about this. And you don't get no response. I don't care. People were signing petitions. 2 petitions were circulating. One got 4.6 million signatures, because you only need so many signatures to get a debate in Parliament over the petition. One got 7-point-something million, because what people want an early election. They do not like Keir Starmer. Do you know what he said? He addressed the nation and said anyone that is opposing and wants an early election and they don't like what's going on, basically you're going to face repercussions. What the hell's going on? Like, you are paid to do a job.
You know what's worried me? What's worried me is the fact that there has been serious terrorist activity happen worldwide. I'm talking serious terrorist activity happening worldwide. And people have not come out from specific religious identities as leaders of those societies and condemned those atrocities. That is what has been the most shocking thing for me. And further to that, the countries, Britain and France and Italy, not so much Germany, have allowed for freedom of hate to march through the streets of London.
Yeah, I agree.
That is what has really worried me. How is it for 2.5 years, every weekend, thousands of people come out onto the streets, and then after that cause havoc within the British society by attacking institutions, by attacking military armaments and vehicles, aeroplanes, and then the court case gets quashed because there's not sufficient evidence to find these people in breach of civil liberty. This is what I'm really
the justice,
concerned
about. The justice system's really crap. I agree. What baffles me, I'm going to tell you 2 situations that happened. Well, in fact, 3 situations that happened most recent. I mean, there's many more that's happened. You had the Rwandan kid. His parents was Rwandan. He was born in Wales. And he went into a Taylor Swift dance hall where there was kids with a machete, killed 3 kids and injured many more, right? They said in the headline of the paper, this was just a small, quiet choir boy. So people are thinking this kid's a Christian at this point, right? Then later on, we find out that his parents was brought in by Keir Starmer, and they was a part of the Rwanda genocide. So why are you allowing these people in the streets? Also, the kid was known to prevent, which is an anti-terrorist organisation in the UK. So he was recognised to prevent. So why did they not prevent this happening when they knew the dangers? Also, just recently, a guy, a Muslim, goes on a train, starts fucking attacking loads of people with a knife. Then a synagogue, a Muslim, goes and attacks and kills some Jewish people. Then you've got Keir Starmer, goes to the mosque and says, I am going to give you X, Y, and Z amount of million to put security in the mosque to protect you. Why are you not putting that money into the synagogues? Because Jews, the anti-Semitism in this country is crazy right now. Yeah? Why are you protecting them and putting security in their mosques and protecting them as human beings when it's not them that need protecting? It's the Jews and the Christians, it's the people of this land that need protecting from these people. I mean, that's just a short list of it. I mean, I can list many more crimes that they do. I mean, a recent interview I just watched that was recent, very recent, that a man and a victim of these grooming gangs, they were saying after Ramadan, when they celebrate their Eid, they was grooming young children, saying, oh yeah, come, we're going to, have a little feast because of Eid celebration. They lured them to their homes and they gang raped them violently, right? This was done with an interview, and it turns out Metropolitan Police was involved, some MPs was involved, court judges was involved, social services was involved. It's literally, it goes deep. They're all corrupted. I mean, that's just a short through, man. I can name more, man, but I'd be here all day. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating. UK was one of the biggest and the best empires in history. We built this country on, I love Caribbean black people. I love some American black people, the Native American black people. Black people support us British people. They support us. They know what's going on and they stand by us and they can integrate. But the issue I see in this country is from within the Sudan community, the Somali, the Pakistan and the Bangladesh. The rest of them I have no problem with. And do you know what's frustrating? I know I'm probably sounding like I'm yapping a bit now, but what's frustrating? I know the British people have a bad history and a bad past, right? But we can't keep being apologetic, right? The only people that I feel we owe an apology to for anything we've ever done is the black people for the transatlantic slavery. We've paid reparations. We've been paying reparations for fucking years, right? What about Portugal? What about Spain? What about the Arab slavery? Are you going to ask them for reparations? Because that's where it all came from. And also, you forget our forefathers that got killed abolishing slavery. They forget these things. These people live on our land and they fucking hate us. Why are you here? If you hate us that much, why are you here? By the way, I wasn't even born then. I was not born around that time. I'm not being blamed for something that my ancestry did. That's not fair. And this is the problem we have now. Because of our past and history and because of the things we've done, our government is being too apologetic and they're being too tolerant with all this crap. And that is not right. It shouldn't be right. It's not right at all. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Can you not see what's going on? That the government are using the lefties to cause a civil war? The left is a dangerous, man.
The left is a terrible people, worst of the worst. so bad. But I guess we are where we are.
But the thing is, like, not all people. I feel bad because I feel like I'm categorizing people, and I'm not, because I'm married to an Arab man. Been married 7 years, and he's a great man. But he can live in peace. He lives in peace. He's not. But he even says there's a problem in the UK with these communities.
He doesn't live in peace. You brought him peace. There's a difference. You brought him peace. You brought him tranquility, niceness, breakfast in the morning. You brought him energy, everything. You brought him peace. He doesn't live in peace because of why you brought him peace is a different Saxon, but. And he will tell you that the same thing.
Yeah, but wherever he came from, third world war country, whatever, because he's from Tunisia. But the point is he's not here. He, as an Arab man, notices there's a problem within Western Muslims, and he's a Muslim. So he's saying there's a problem, and he's a Muslim. He said these people in the West are the worst Muslims he's ever met in his entire life.
It's terrible, Saxon, you know? You were terrorism. I'm just saying, sometimes in life you bring good things, you bring bad things, and you bring peace, and you bring tranquility, and sometimes you bring horrible things to your entire life, you know what I mean? You brought peace and tranquility to your life, Saxon. I think it's a good thing.
But do you know what?
I love that for you.
I don't hate this. I just need to make this clear because probably this is being recorded. I do not hate Muslims in general, not all of them, but I do not like what the ideology teaches. The
I hate Islam, so
teaches barbaric teachings. If this is an example of a religion you're following, that it's okay to marry a 9-year-old, it's okay to do these atrocities. That's not okay. I would not be following a religion like that. And above all that, just to mention, and I want you to go watch this. This is a BBC documentary for anyone to go watch it. 2 undercover journalists went into 20 different mosques around the UK. One journalist said, would they facilitate a marriage of a child under the age of 14? And the other went in just to see what they was preaching. Out of the journalist that went in and asked the leaders of the mosque, would they facilitate a marriage? Out of those 20 mosques, 13 of those mosques said yes. Now that's a problem, if they would be willing to facilitate a marriage to a child under the age of 14. Also, the other journalist went into a mosque. All that was being preached in that mosque by the leader, that imam, was kill the infidels. We have to kill the infidels. The infidels to them are the Jews and the Christians. This is under investigation, but nothing's been done. Those people should be taken out of that mosque, taken out of authority, and those mosques should be closed down. If that's the kind of rhetoric you're teaching in these mosques, they shouldn't be allowed to practice in that mosque. Close it down. Do you ever, is anyone else, I mean, you're in Australia, that other guys, do you have problems there? Do you have America? I know America's got their own issues, but do you ever sit there and think, okay, I'm 42 now. I worry about my son and my grandkids to come and what life they're going to have in this country.
Look at the Chabad terror attack, at Bondi Beach.
The Australian terrorist attack, yeah, I saw that on the news.
20 years ago, Australia had very, strict immigration enforcement, but it looks like they let everybody in because all these woke governments decided to betray their people by being social justice virtue workers. Hello?
Yeah, it's sad, really. But I mean, I don't know, because I don't want to sound like I'm being racist, because that's not the case. I'm just a British patriotic person that wants best for
What
the
the
country
hell
and
are
the
you worried
people.
about
That's it.
racism? I'm worried about death. I'm worried about terrorism, and I'm worried about being killed and dying. I don't understand why you worry about racism and all the bullshit, everything else. It's all bad.
Islam has a 5 or 6 stage. They have a 5 or 6 stages before they take over. The UK is at stage 3. I know a